Do you guys miss those headlights on your helmets now? Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 17th episode of the show, Power Rangers in Space, as well as the 267th episode overall titled The Rangers Mega Voyage. We start this episode right where we left off. The Rangers are getting their asses handed to them by Darkonda and his skin twin, Mutantress, whose name I had to look up. We see a repeat of the epilogue from last episode where the Megazord gets beat up and tossed down through the streets. They get back on their feet somehow, now only in the Astro Megazord, but then they just stand up and they're back in the Astro Delta Megazord. An editor somewhere gave no fucks this day. Alpha then lets them know that the keycards are for massive weapons on Jupiter's moon. Which moon? Who cares? Andros calls for them to separate the two Zords, and they get out, running into the Delta Megazord. Alpha transfers the keycards to them, and they take off. Forget the Earth then, I guess. The Delta Megaship goes off into the sky, and Astronema is confused as to why they would do this. She tells Darkonda to go after the Rangers. Then Astronema interrogates the guy from the Onyx card game who originally had the key cards, and he says he didn't see anything, so she zaps him what's good. He then says that Darkonda won the key cards, but the Red Ranger was there, and we get a flashback to last episode. Oh my god, we get it, guys. Also, Darkonda didn't win those cards at all. We also are seeing this entire fight again. Okay, I praised last episode a little too early. Astronema finds out that the Rangers have the key cards, so she calls for battle gear as they move out. She has battle gear? Ashley sees that something is coming up behind them and it's Mutantress who is sucking the Megazord's ass, so they fire the afterburners, getting him away. I guess he'll just float in space forever. They then are getting closer to the moon and a computer voice takes over, controlling the ship. Carlos then asks if this is one of Andros' friends. What is happening? They land and they leave down a ladder, passing a few alien signs. Andros thinks he heard something at the end of the walkway. How? They run. Also, Darkonda is still beating the crap out of the Astro Megazord, which is being piloted by Alpha. Alpha, just like leave. They're having system failures. Andros then says he'll know what he's looking for when he sees it, and he sees a control panel, and apparently that's it. Astronema and crew then show up in front of the Rangers, and she will stop the Rangers from getting the new weapon. She sends Ecliptor and Quantrons after them, and they're all fighting in this warehouse on Jupiter's moon, which is actually pretty good for Power Rangers in space. Andros gets to the control panel while the others are fighting, and apparently, Andros did it. I mean, he broke a code or whatever, I don't know. He gets into another room and the others run forward with Cassie being last, but then she gets hit down by Astronema's weapon boomerang. The door is closing and Cassie gets through just before the Quantrons miss her. They're trying to get in, but Ashley finds another tunnel, so they go that way with flashlights. Then Ashley can't see very well, and this bitch literally flips over a freaking railing, getting caught by Andros as she drops her flashlight into oblivion. What a damn damsel in distress. He pulls her back up, and Cassie doesn't care because they found more keycards. They have discovered the Mega Vehicles, V1 through V5. Apparently, Zordon hid them here, and they're preparing for liftoff, so everyone get in their color-coded Zord. They take fireman poles into the Zords, inserting the keycards into their individual cockpits. V1 is Andros's, and it's a standing-up astronaut man. V2 is Carlos, and it's a shuttle. V3 is TJ, who has a rocket, which is like the lamest one. V4 is Ashley, and it seems to just be a spaceship, as is V5. Okay, well that got boring. They all take off so slowly, and everyone's talking about how cool and awesome these new Zords are. They leave via the moon from Jupiter, even though this is clearly Earth's moon because they're way too close to Earth. Then Andros shows off by jumping from Zord to Zord for no reason. He literally rides TJ's Zord. TJ, your Zord sucks, bro. Mutantress then attacks V1 out of nowhere, so they're flying around and they land on the moon. Andros fires some missiles at the monster, and honestly, the space fight is really cool because they've actually really mastered the look of it being in space, but Andros sucks because he's getting hit pretty hard here. Carlos comes in to help, as does Ashley and Cassie. I guess TJ is just kind of flying around. He comes over and he makes fun of how he's a taxi now because, well, he is. Andros literally gets back on the rocket and they just start going toward the monster, firing at him as they just space surf by. This is lame as hell if you're TJ, you're literally doing nothing. Then they just blow the fuck out of Mutantress, killing him, I guess. Carlos suggests they go back to Earth to handle things. Alpha is also almost dead, it seems, or at least the Astro Megazord is going through it. Deca can't even talk normally at this point and Alpha's freaking out. Cassie says she found a transformation control and they're like, do you think? 4 of you have been Power Rangers for way too long to not assume Zordon only makes things that go together to make a bigger thing. They use it and come together into a really cool looking Megazord, the Mega Voyager. The Astro Megazord's energy goes to 0, falling down, and Alpha is actually calmer now than he was before. Also, Dekka is still trying to talk. Like, bitch, shut up, you're the one sucking up all the energy. Then the Mega Voyager flies in, landing in front of Darkonda. They take off into the sky again, doing a kick to Darkonda's face before they just start jumping up and down on his chest because fuck you. They then get a little chained up by Darkonda and he tells them to come closer, so they fly over, hitting him down. They use Mega V3 missile mode and Andros does a special hand movement. Now here comes TJ's Zord. Wait, his Zord wasn't combined here at all? Seriously, worst Zord ever. They fire the Mega Missile, hitting Darkonda down. I guess he died? They then look over at Alpha, who is really shaken up. Alpha says he needs a vacation, but just kidding. I mean, I don't think so. You really do, Alpha. On the Megaship later, they're assessing the damage, and TJ says that the engine circuits have to be reconfigured and, like, other stuff. Andros says they have to help Dekka too, who keeps trying to speak. Ashley says everything is chill on Earth, but they'll keep looking because Astronomer knows that they're damaged pretty badly. On the Dark Fortress, Ecliptor says the Rangers are badly damaged, and Elgar starts talking about how Darkonda probably isn't actually dead because he's the biggest, baddest, bodacious buddy around. Ecliptor comes over and tells him to shut up. Astronomer agrees though, saying that now is the perfect time to attack Earth thanks to Darkonda. The end. This episode's a slow conclusion. I feel like they wrote this two-parter and ended up being like a single story that spanned like 35 minutes instead of 40 minutes. So he had to fill in some of the gaps with a long-winded fight sequence and maybe a flashback story to like the previous episode. The Mega Voyager itself is pretty neat, but the individual Zords are really forgettable. Like, truly forgettable. There's nothing to really speak of other than Andros' astronaut man Zord, and even that is take it or leave it for me. Overall, cool that they got new Zords from Zordon's keycards, but also really confusing as to why Zordon made these things to begin with. Next time, we'll see someone we haven't seen in a bit, but until then, may the power protect you.